Welcome to Awaken Health Pod. I'm Jennifer Grogan, Integrative Health Coach with Greenleaf Wellness in Peoria, Illinois. I'm with my co-host, Shauna Scradell, Integrative Health Coach with Inspire Wellness for You in Arizona. Hey, Shauna, how are ya?
Good morning. Doing good. Episode 16. And yeah, you just reminded me the 16th on the 16th because it's April 16th, 2018. And today we're going to talk about spring back to health and fitness, some tips and safety precautions with transitioning from winter to spring exercise routines. So, Jen, why don't you take the lead?
Okay. Well, I know in my household, my husband's big on the proper time for the kids to be out and about for sunburns and whatnot. So I know a lot of people like to be out in the sun and probably never think about the best times to be out in the sun. But I know to get the optimal vitamin D supplement from the sun, that's putting you at minimal risk for getting cutaneous malignant melanoma, which is CMM, is at around noon, so like 10 to 2. And for those that aren't aware of what CMM actually is, it's the most serious form of skin cancer. It counts for about 3/4 of all skin cancer deaths. So the best time in my research that I'm finding for the best vitamin D without the harshness of the sun is between 10 and 2. I know you're in Arizona, so your viewpoint might be a little bit different, but up here in Illinois, it's like we're a little bit further from the sun. That's what I always say. But I've always heard the 10 to 2. And my husband's like, no, you should avoid 10 to 2. So it was like a little debate back and forth. And I was like, stay tuned for the podcast because you're going to get my information. So the best time is for the vitamin D from the sun, like I said, without the harshness, is 10 to 2. I'm going to explain a little bit about the UVB and the UVA rays. Okay, so when the sun goes down toward the horizon, the UVB is filtered out much more than the UVA. The long wave of ultraviolet called UVA runs about 320 to 400 nanometers, and I'll get to that in a second. Highly correlated with melanoma, where the UVB is the one that produces the vitamin D. That's from 290 to 315 nanometers. So you're probably thinking, what the heck is a nanometer? It's a unit of length in the metric system equal to 1/1000th of a meter. So both UVA and the UVB can cause tanning and burning. So it's important to use like your sunscreens and stuff, and we're going to get to that later on. The UVB is more rapid, and the UVA penetrates your skin more deeply than the UVB, and is thought to be a much more important factor in photoaging, wrinkles, and skincare. So you want to stay hydrated, which is another area we're going to get into in the podcast too. Getting about 2,000 IU to 4,000 IU a day of vitamin D can help to reduce your cancer risk up to 50%. And I think I said in one podcast, I think we're talking about vitamins and supplements, that I was taking vitamin D3, and it's a 5,000 IU because a lot of people aren't getting enough. Because most people only get the 250 to 300 IUs a day from their diet. So the sun, for people that want to be out in the sun, just you have to be cautious, sunscreens and monitor your time frame and everything. But the 10 to 2, you're going to get the vitamin D. So other things you can find vitamin D in is like your eggs, organ meats, animal fats, cod liver oil, and fish. Darker skinned people, you would probably agree here too, you need to be in the sun a little longer because your melanin and your pigmentation and stuff is different than lighter people. I'm really white, so I have to be really cautious when I go out, or it's like burn city. So just some things to think about.
Yeah, there's a few things I do want to mention to that. So, yeah, you're right. Here in Havasu, I mean, there's times where, 4 or 5 o'clock is, still a horrible time to be, that's really when you're going to get red. But, so, where do I begin? Okay, first of all, it is important to maybe go to a skin and cancer doctor or a dermatologist and get your skin and moles and things like that checked maybe once a year. I go twice a year because I have had a couple areas of concern that needed to be either removed or watched
Mm-hmm.
over. And so I feel comfortable and confident knowing and trusting that I go, 1 to 2 times a year, and they kind of just do an evaluation and a check, and just to make sure that there's nothing, no areas of concern with the skin and the moles regarding melanoma. So that is a suggestion. It's always
Mm-hmm.
nice to be preventative and as confident in your health as possible than worrying or waiting, till it's too late. The other thing is there's an ideal range for your vitamin D levels that would be between 70 and 90, and 90 would be top. So this is something that can be checked in your blood work. Taking 5,000 IU's is actually a lot of benefits, like Jen mentioned, preventative against cancer. It builds your immune system. It's also very, very good for your gut, your microbiome, and your mitochondria. So, vitamin D, taking it in higher doses is very, very good. And then after several months of that, if you get your blood checked and you are within the ideal range of 70 to 90, preferably again at 90, then at that time you could consider taking it down to, between 2 and 4,000 IU's a day. The other thing is, I love how the sun can give you vitamins, and it does, but our bodies do assimilate the vitamins from the sun a little differently. And we did talk about this on a previous podcast. I don't remember which title it was right off the bat, but it takes 24 to 48 hours. More recent research is showing up to 48 hours for the body and the skin to absorb the vitamin from the sun. So I know where we live, a lot of the men who work outside, they'll shower 1 to 2 times a day. And so what's happening is you're not getting that, full, thorough absorption of the vitamin from the sun. And so putting yourself at risk to possibly be burned or tan, or to get risk for skin and melanomas, it may be more beneficial to just check your levels and maybe consider taking a supplement. The sun's so great, and it definitely makes you happy and takes out those winter blues. But then you just want to be cautious with your skin as well. And another way that the body absorbs the vitamin from the sun is through the eyes. So a lot of people who wear sunglasses are decreasing their chances of getting that proper absorption. So these are just more things, like we always say, to be mindful of, to be considerate of. And so let's see, we talked about the timing, the IU's, and then some forms of measurement is by UG. And so I think around 12 UGs is 2,000 IU's. I always mix up that counting system, but we could look into that. And so vitamin D is important. It's essentially a hormone. It's really important for mood support, hormonal balance. There's a lot of areas. And well, Jen, what's the next topic you were going to go to? Because I was going to say something else and I lost my train of thought, but I know we both have a list here that we can collaborate together with.
Welcome to Monday on that brain fog
Exactly.
there. So, I know a lot of people go outside, especially kids, when it's really hot out because they want to be, active, which is great. But it's really important to stay hydrated. So we're going to give some ideas of how to do that. Remember, whenever you're sweating, you're releasing toxins from your body, and you're going to get more dehydrated if you're not putting into fluid in there. So I'm going to give you 10 ways to stay hydrated in hot weather to avoid heat-related illnesses. So you want to drink before you feel thirsty. Your body uses thirst to indicate that you are approaching dehydration. So a lot of times my kids come inside and they're like, I'm starving. I'm like, no, you need water. You just ate, drink some more water. So I try to make it, to where they understand you're active outside, you're sweating, replace it with more fluid. And then if you feel hungry, we'll feed you. Drink water to avoid the sugary drinks. That can lead to more cravings for more junk and sugar drinks. So, it's just more important to stick with the waters. And if you want more flavor in the water, instead of going to the sugar drinks, you can put fruit in there, lime, lemon, strawberry, raspberries. Just slice them up, drop them in there, and you're good to go. Keep a bottled water with you at all times. Always keep it on hand and make sure you're refilling it every time you drink it. We just mentioned the flavoring with the fruits. You can do the sparkling water. A lot of people like the fizz and carbonation, so the sparkling water is really good. I think I had my first one in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and I think I sent you a picture of it, Shauna.
You did.
I was like, he goes, "You want tap water or sparkling water?" I'm like, sparkling, we'll try that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need fruit in here. So the lime really helped with that. So you can put, slices of lime.
Yeah, watermelon, blueberries, even rosemary and herbs, lemon, lots of different things you can infuse with your water.
And then no alcoholic drinks. Alcohol is a diuretic, so it's going to cause you to urinate more, which is going to lead to more dehydration. So you want to stay hydrated.
Well, alcohol and caffeine also has dehydrating properties.
I think we did another talk on caffeine before, too. Sports drinks, I know a lot of people are going to go to Gatorade. Read the ingredients on that, and I don't know where you're at on that, Shauna, but I cringe at the Gatorade because it's nothing but the sodium and sugar.
I completely cringe at the Gatorade because most of them have high fructose corn syrup in it, which has traces of mercury in it, and that's genetically modified corn turned into a sugar substitute, and there's no nutrition in that. Your body can't assimilate it. It's foreign, and there's just so many other options, which I don't want to say them before you do, so I'm just going to wait and let you keep going with the list.
I did on the grape flavored Gatorade, I wrote down what's in there. So it's water, sucrose syrup, glucose fructose syrup, citric acid, natural grape flavor with other natural flavors, salt, sodium citrate, monopotassium, phosphate, red 40, blue 1.
Bingo. Yep, right there. You've got your chemical numbers, 40, blue, 7. Oh my gosh, they're terrible.
Yeah. So instead I would go for coconut water, emergency, orange juice, apple juice, lemon juice.
Okay, so I love the coconut water, but also, I don't know if you've seen, they do now have an organic Gatorade, which doesn't have any of that junk in it. It's basically maybe salt and citrus, which has your electrolyte properties in it. So I think they only make them in 3 different flavors, and it's not like a grape flavor. It's almost like flavored water, but I like that, the kids see all these great colored bottles and all these things, and most of the time, we're letting them know how they're not the healthiest choice and why, but that is something, to have once in a while, like your lemonade or your coconut water, regular water. So those are okay, I think. I'm okay with those, the organic Gatorades.
I'm going to look into that one.
Yeah. It's something,
Yeah. Because I know the plain water for kids, they get bored with that. So if you can, liven it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Drink your cool fluid. So you can put water in a water bottle, and you can put your sliced fruit in there and put it in the freezer. So the next day it's going to be ice, but then your kids are going to get excited because it's now melting and they can see everything moving in there, and it's got this great flavor.
Yeah. And think about how great that is for your gut. All those, fresh bacteria and from the fruit. So good.
It's also important, track your water intake. So then you know that you're getting the water that you need. Because I know summer months, everyone is really active. They're on the go. They're outside more. They're away from their, refrigerator, wherever you've got your water stored. So if you just take some with you and just be cautious, you can set a timer. You can, just keep refilling it every time it's getting low. Just remember to put more in there and carry extra with you.
Right. And there's actually an app. There's a couple different water drinking apps, and they'll tell you, it's time to take a sip of water, or, you can check off how many 8 ounces glasses you've had. So it can be fun. You can encourage each other with a friend or a coworker. Let's, take a water break. And I'll do things with my kids sometimes. I say, okay, everybody, we're going to have a water drinking contest, and we'll all fill it up and we'll chug it down just to get it down in there,
That's funny. Anything that helps, right?
Exactly.
And then, you can eat your water. And this goes back to the fruits. You can do everything keep it frozen as a treat or put it in the fridge for a cold snack. But you can do watermelon, grapefruit, spinach, zucchini, celery, coconuts, radish, and cucumber.
Hmm.
So that sounds interesting to me. I think the watermelon and grapefruit sound really good frozen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Well, and then you were talking about signs of dehydration as well. So, feeling really tired, sleepy, drowsy, not urinating often. If your urine is in small amounts, if it's really dark and you know it's not from certain vitamins you take in, headache, muscle cramps, even drier skin, dizziness, these are all symptoms and signs of dehydration. And so, proper dehydration, again, doping up on the healthy fluids, but then I want you to be cautious of a couple things as well. So if you're having water bottles in the car, you don't want to leave them in the car because if they've got the BPA's in them with the warmer weather, that's going to emit into from the plastic into the water, and so you don't want that sitting in there and getting hot. That's why I do like the reusable water bottles because you can wash them and some of them are insulated, so they'll keep it colder longer. There's some great options for that. They're really good investments. And we've said it 1,000 times, so I won't go into it more. If anyone has any questions, they can email us. But knowing the difference between your spring water, your RO, and your purified water. So, is your water having minerals in it or not? Most likely the spring waters will, and anything that's not isn't. So, that's just something to be mindful of. Get your electrolytes, get your minerals, become hydrated from the water that you're actually drinking. So, I recommend spring water, and everyone can have their own opinion, but that's my suggestion.
Sounds good to me.
You did? I think you mentioned orange juice, and what's interesting about that is a couple things. So, the vitamin C is really good for your muscles and for your collagen. And so, if we become dehydrated and our skin gets dry and loses elasticity, that means it has lower collagen. You mentioned the wrinkles, and so boosting your vitamin C will help counteract that. And so, vitamin C isn't actually one of your main essential electrolytes. For example, like calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium. However, it's energizing, it's flavorful, and it's good for your muscles, good for muscle recovery. So, lots of different attributes there.
Very good. A lot of people don't think about their muscles being sore, stiff, or in pain when you're out and about. If you do experience some of that, there are some things that you can do. More water. You can stretch it, apply the ice, heating pad if you need to, relaxes tight, tender muscles, massage the area, use some essential oils to reduce your pain, which would be like your lavender and chamomile. You can do turmeric. You can create a paste with it and just add a little bit of water, and you can put it on the muscles. So then it creates more of a muscle relaxer type thing too.
Have you done that before?
I have not, but I've been reading on that more and more. And I do have a spot on my foot that's been kind of tender, and I'm thinking about trying it. So I'll have to get back to you if it works.
Yeah, because I would wonder two things. I would wonder if it discolors the skin temporarily and if it would hurt or burn.
I don't think that it would burn. You do get a yellow tint with turmeric, especially in your cooking. I don't think it would be a permanent stain on the skin because
right, of course. It's a natural product, yeah.
I think it would just go into the skin and the tissue more and create that relaxing effect.
That's really
draw up
neat.
Yeah.
It probably causes less inflammation in the area too, which is probably how it helps with the reduction of pain.
Exactly. I mean, turmeric is a great anti-inflammatory, and I put it in all my foods. So I use the powder spice, but the paste itself, I've been reading more on, and just kind of curious for myself.
Yeah.
Because if I put it in everything, and I'm seeing a difference in other areas of my body and how it's helped, I can only imagine it's going to help once you apply it to the area.
Yeah, very cool, very neat.
And then, of course, increase your water. Consult a doctor if it gets worse.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you have to be cautious going from winter to spring/summer because the warmer weather, we'll go into this. I think you have plans to talk about preventing stroke and stuff like that, being cautious. But before we do that, I just want to say some foods because we always do this. Potatoes, raisins, bananas, spinach, sweet potatoes, even avocado, white beans, and salmon have potassium rich properties. And when it comes to calcium, your leafy greens, your kale, Swiss chard, arugula uh, are all very good for getting your electrolytes. Canned tuna, soup, beans, pickles, olives, whole grain, bread. They're higher sodium, and these are important. And a lot of people say, kale's hard to chew, and it can be, but we learned this in IIN, and I love sharing it. I just shared it with a client recently. If you massage your kale, which I like to do with avocado and lemon juice, it breaks up the fibers and makes it more tolerable to chew compared to other greens that we're used to eating. And then you get all of the wonderful health benefits of kale as an algae and with the potassium. So that might be something to try because I always encourage trying new foods and new vegetables. And so you want to enjoy eating it. So maybe massaging your kale and trying out a new dish like that.
I've never thought to put avocado and lemon juice on that.
Oh, really? Yeah, because then you can replace your processed salad dressings.
Very nice, because I remember going and trying the whole IIN experience, and I just couldn't get it soft enough. And I'm like, oh, I can't do this. But if I could get it softened, I probably would enjoy it. But now I'll try the avocado and lemon juice, and I'll let you know how that goes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, send me a picture too. Maybe post it on the Awaken Health Pod Facebook page.
Sounds good. I can do that.
Yum.
So you were talking about heat strokes and stuff like that. So there are 11 foods to help prevent heat stroke. You can do watermelon. Now this stimulates the release of excess perspiration. Pomegranate, loaded with water, also rich in antioxidants called punicalagins. Hope I said that right. Basil seeds, great for a workout recovery, great for a cool down. Cucumber, it's 95% water, so 1 cup equals 16 calories. So the skin of the cucumber has a lot of vitamin C in it as well. A lot of people might crave mint ice cream and don't know why, but the reason why is for the menthol. The mint-induced compound tricks a protein receptor in your brain called TRPM8 into thinking that the food is cold. So if you go to mints and stuff like that, it's a cooling sensation that it's giving you, and that's probably why if some people go to mint ice cream, you're wanting cooled off. Kiwi. There's a cute little story behind kiwi. I met with a client, and he had never had one before, and his wife was gone. And I hope he doesn't get mad at me if he hears this, but I think it's so cute. But she was gone, and he really wanted to try kiwi, and he didn't understand why it was so fuzzy. And so he took a razor to it to try and shave it to get to it. And I thought that was so funny, and he laughed with me, But every time I see a kiwi, I think of my client. It was just like so innocent. A juicy fruit that helps in hydrating the body is also holds 237 milligrams of an important electrolyte that is vital for muscle contraction, which is potassium. Celery, 96% water. 2 to 3 stalks can replenish a realm of vital minerals, including sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, iron, and zinc.
I want to say something real quick about celery. So actually, what I like about celery is it takes more calories for your body to burn the celery then there are calories in the celery because of the fiber and because it's so much water. So you can really eat, tons of celery and have, no effect from it really. No negative effect. It's not, a high calorie food. So that's pretty interesting.
I like celery. It's good for digestion too.
And can I say something too about the kiwi?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I just have to say, maybe like 15, 17 years ago, I tried to make my first ham and it had hair on it. And I took a shaver to it. My mom was laughing. So, I mean, it was like a real ham, So that made me think of that, shaving the kiwi. But recently, yeah, I still remember my mom laughing when I called her trying to figure out how to make it.
Oh, that's too cute.
But more importantly, the kiwi skin is completely edible. And a recent study shows that eating the skin triples the fiber intake compared to just eating the flesh of the fruit. And
Really?
also, by not peeling the skin, you preserve much of the vitamin C content. So now we'll wash it, but we just eat them like an apple. And then we're more likely to buy them because I don't know about you, but for so many years of my life, I love kiwi, but I tend to buy them less often because I don't want to sit there and peel it and chop it, and it's like this whole experience sometimes. But now it's just so much easier to get the firmer ones, wash it, and eat it like an apple, and you get the benefits from the skin and all that extra fiber.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Maybe now I'll buy more of them and not have to worry about peeling them so much.
Exactly. I love it.
Snow peas. They're high in vitamin C, protects from sunburns. It also aids in the production of collagen.
Oh, awesome. And high protein, I think, too. So those are awesome.
And then there's pears. One medium pear is full of water and 6 grams of soluble fiber.
Have you baked a pear before?
No, I haven't tried that one yet.
I love baking them and putting a little bit of cinnamon and maybe once in a while a little tad bit of butter on there. So delightful.
Nice. I'm probably not going to say this right. Gazpacho. It's a raw soup. It's a Spanish recipe, great for replenishing muscles after a workout. Primary ingredient is gazpacho is tomatoes, 94% water, and then there's also the wild-caught salmon, essential omega-3 fatty acid.
Right. The omegas is where the potassium comes in, if I have that correct.
Yep, you do.
Well, exercise strengthens your immune system. And maybe some of you did the right thing and you didn't stop exercising next winter, which is highly recommended because, nobody wants to go backwards. But however, a lot of times people stop around fall and winter, and then we're not getting as much fresh air. We're constantly using the heater. And if we could warm our body up naturally, I'm sure everyone can imagine, how much greater that is for the body and the wallet. And so increasing your immune system with exercise, preventing obesity, keeping your fat percentage down, these are all, benefits that aren't just appearance based. And so when you exercise, you release the feel-good hormone serotonin. I'm sure many of you know this. Getting fresh air, I just think there's something so magical to nature and the mind-body connection. So, again, you want to build good habits, but for those of you who haven't been exercising and you're kind of touching the waters now, just be careful. Start out slowly, be cautious of the weather, be cautious of the sun, make sure you're staying hydrated, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. I encourage building your endurance levels up before trying to fill your calendar with all of these workout goals. So I want you to start light and do the things that you love. And there's so many different ways to exercise and get outdoors. Jen, I want to talk about two things, but I want to share some ideas on just getting outdoors. But first, should we talk about maybe critter safety?
Yeah, that's probably a good one.
Okay. So, do you want to go into that a little bit first?
Well, you probably have more critters in Arizona than we do here in Illinois.
Okay. So we do. We have rattlesnakes, scorpions, black widows, brown recluse spiders, centipedes, wasps, bees, tarantula hawks. These things are nasty guys with nasty stingers. That'll be a fun thing to look up if you don't know what they do. I don't really want to explain it. It's gross. But so yeah, we're in the desert, and even people who do go to the forest or the mountains or the hikes and the trails, there's all kinds of little buggers out there, and even just down to skunks, porcupines, hedgehogs, so many different things to be careful about. And you want to watch where you step, and you also want to make sure you're not stepping on rocks and twisting your ankle and that you're wearing good shoes. But where you put your hands, or if you just want to sit down and take a break, you always want to just be really visual and cautious. So, opening your front door, checking your mail, hiking, walking, just being very careful of critters and coyotes and snakes and things like that. So, even just mosquitoes, you want to be cautious of that because, there's viral diseases and infections and stuff like that.
So, do you see a lot of rattlesnakes when you go hiking?
Well, I used to live outside the city limits. We just moved back here, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 months ago, into the main town. And yeah, it would be very common to see a snake a week. Now that I'm on a paved road and I'm in city limits, even though I'm still on the edge of town, I've got, you walk for 3 or 4 minutes and you're at trails in the bottom of the foothills. And it is, I'm backed up to a wash. So I encourage my kids to be very careful, but we're not going to see them out here as much as we did. I mean, I probably won't even see one in a year, but they're out there. If you really wanted to go looking for them, they're out there. I mean, you can spray for scorpions and centipedes and stuff like that. The mosquitoes. A lot of people confuse the bigger mayflower flies with the mosquitoes. There's a difference. I don't actually think mosquitoes get as big as a mayflower. Do you? Do you know that?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We tell the kids, put your bug spray on and stay careful of the mosquitoes just because of the West Niles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I think there's been traces that are on here, and so we're just more cautious with those. But
yeah,
we're near fields for like mice and stuff like that. Maybe if you, I don't know if you want to coyotes or bobcats or whatever, but
yes.
Nothing major, not like I don't see rattlesnakes outside and stuff like that. But I'm sure as you go out and go hunting and stuff around here, you do run into those. But
right.
Our biggest issue is the mosquitoes right now. So,
do you guys get like gophers or prairie dogs?
We have those around here, yeah.
Because I think they can also carry like the plague.
Really?
And they're nasty. They're not nice tempered. So, the kids need to be careful. They don't go digging their holes in there thinking they're going to get a little friend out of it.
Yeah.
All right.
That wouldn't be good.
So we just want you to be mindful of going from winter to spring, doing more outdoor activities. Maybe a lot of people do indoor workouts or gyms. I have been loving the weather so much that there's been a few times I planned on going to the gym recently, and instead I just went for a walk or a hike or into the mountains because the weather is so beautiful. And, if it's not windy, which it gets windy here around spring, and then you've got the pollen in the air and allergies for certain people. So there's weather conditions that people need to be considerate of. But again, the fresh air, the warmer body, the lighter foods, the endurance to exercise, there's so many beautiful qualities to this time of the year.
I agree. And I know swimming is huge. People love to go swimming and you get that vitamin D, but if you want more of a strengthening cardio, try and go into a lake, or if you're near the ocean, go in the ocean, because the resistance against the current will be a great workout for you. I know it's really becoming popular around here now is the stand-up paddleboarding. It's good for your core and, creates balance. And there is called Plank in Morton, for those that are listening in my area. It's a Pilates studio, but she offers the paddle boarding. So that might be something you'd want to do, because I'm thinking about doing it myself. You do your yoga outside. So if you do it inside, put your mat out on your patio or deck and just enjoy the sun. Running, biking, hiking, climbing, if you like to do climbing in your area, let's say. I don't know where you could climb around here. Court sports are great. So your tennis, basketball, sand court volleyballs. That's great for 360-degree movements. League sports, functional fitness offers great hand-eye coordination. So your baseball, softball, flag football, ultimate frisbee, and soccer. If you're an adult and you're going to do all those, just be really cautious, and you may have to start using some of that turmeric for muscles
and just start out light. Start out light. Don't overdo it.
Yes. Well, you know how men are. They like to just get in there and do it. Next thing they know, they got an injury. That was my husband. He's like, I'm going to join the softball team or whatever it was, and he came home and rolled his ankle, and I'm like, really? That was a few years ago, but I was like, we're not kids anymore. And the great thing about, the court sports and league sports, it's involved in social interaction. So you're going to get your community out of it as well.
I love it. I had all of those on my list, and kayaks and rowing. So many things to do outdoors. Enjoy your mountains, your hikes, your lakes, because if it's like here in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, you can't do that kind of stuff in July, August. I mean, you have to drive up to the mountains an hour or more away to get to 20, 30 degree lower temperatures just to get out of the heat here. It does get up to, 115, 120, and it does get hot and brutal and miserable. And, the guys are sweating and they're cramping up. And so we're always encouraging spring water, proper electrolyte, foods, fruits, vegetables, omegas, and when in doubt, supplement with trace minerals and electrolytes.
Keep your stock on hand, snacks and drinks. It's important.
Exactly. And try again, like we said, stay away from the sugars and the Gatorades. And, I don't even think the athletes on the commercials are really drinking them. Maybe the organic ones.
There you go. We'll think positive for them.
Yeah. So it's, it's scary, and even sugar causes dehydration and skin problems, and, not having a lot of water and not having a lot of fresh food. So there's a lot of contributing factors, and we just go out there on a hot day and all of a sudden we're winded and feel like we're going to faint. And it's also good to go in pairs. As it gets warmer and the sun is outshining, maybe a hike that we could have done 2 weeks ago in beautiful weather is deemed as unsafe now if you go alone. Because if you do get hurt or trip or fall or a snake bite and you don't have enough water on you and maybe no cell phone service because you're out in the sticks exercising, it is always, always good to try to not go alone on adventures like this.
I agree. So I want to go over real quick. I know we're throwing a lot of information out there, but the best sunblock, sunscreens, lip and hair care.
Okay.
And all of these that I've looked at are ranged from $6 to maybe $25 to $30, the high end. So it depends on what brand you want to go with. But these are some of the things that I found that I thought would be good to throw in. Banana Boat Sport Performance Sunscreen. It lasts for 80 minutes and is sweat and water resistant. Neutrogena Ultra Dry Touch Sunscreen. It's light and has a shine-free finish. It comes in an SPF 30 and SPF 100. So in your area, the 100 is probably the best. Hawaiian Tropic Dark Tanning Sunscreen. It gives the golden glow with no burn. It's got the Island Botanicals, rare blend of nature's rich oils, and gives soft, smooth tan skin. Sun Bum Moisturizing Sunscreen Spray infused with nourishing vitamin E.
Ooh, that one sounds nice.
Yeah. Kula Mineral Sunscreen Stick, geared for the sports enthusiast, infused with coconut oil, avocado oil, vitamin E to the skin, and hydrated while being out in the sun.
I like that. It's a stick, so it's convenient. You can put it in your purse, in your kid's pack.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Color Science Sun Forgettable Mineral SPF 50 Sunscreen. Tinted mineral powder with SPF 50 in it. Comes with a brush, so it's easy to reapply. Gives a sheer, natural-looking coverage, which I'm about to try that one myself. Kiss My Face SPF 30 Sport Treatment Lip Balm. It's lime-scented, formulated with beeswax, coconut oil, vitamin E, and shea butter to soften and protect. And for the hair, I know it's really important, being a former hairstylist, if you get your hair highlighted, colored, you want to keep it protected. So Aveda Protective Hair Veil, it's lightweight, water-resistant, UV-dense mist that forms an invisible screen to help protect hair from the sun exposure to minimize damage and dryness. So you've got everything from A to Z that we just shared with you.
Awesome. Well, and before we close, I just also want to say, again, exercising isn't just about losing weight, and losing weight isn't just about what the scale says. So if you are going to start working out again or exercising or being more physically active, it's really a good idea to take your measurements. And instead of just obsessing over the scale, if you take your measurements, you can see tightening and slimming and toning, which involves with lower fat percentage. And I think there's truth that muscle weighs more than fat. So if we're starting to work out, we may get a little hungrier, but we're also building muscle. And so the scale isn't always something to rely on. Also, schedule your physical activity, because I would rather you schedule something in, 2 times a week to start out and to feel accomplished and to take small steps than for you to feel discouraged that you wanted to start working out 5 days a week and you're not. So always call a health coach, call Jen or myself. If all of these fruits and vegetables and exercise plans and supplements aren't something that's in your normal regimen right now and you would like it to be, if you're overwhelmed and don't know where to start, or don't even have the taste or the desire for it at this time, you can contact one of us and we'd be happy to teach you and support you with your health goals. So we want everyone to enjoy this year, 2018, the weather. There's so many wonderful national forests and wonderful places to go and exercise before it's too hot. And wear your hat, use your sunscreen, drink your water, pack light, but pack snacks, and be safe.
That's right.
So, Awaken Health Pod, thank you for listening today. We will get this posted on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Awaken Health Pod's Facebook page. Any questions or feedback, please email us at coaches@awakenhealthpod.com. We hope you have a happy and healthy day.